Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
Sturdy's the man.
Awesome. So much fun.
My wife ran up and gave me what arrived yesterday.
Oh, yeah? Oh, my Lord.
Signed by him and everything.
The Trump mantle card. Now, is that...
Yes, the Trump Griffey card as well.
The upper deck.
And it's still changed the color of his hand to white.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know where my wife found this, but she found a postcard. She was like, you got to show this. It's, we talked about him earlier. Bill Clinton and Al Gore and sexy man bodies. You know, you don't see anymore is like those sexy man playgirl type of air fresheners.
Yeah.
That, like, it seems like everyone's aunt had as a kid.
That's true.
So, guys, welcome everybody. This is Snobs Nation Morning Drive live show. It's not our normal The Scene Snobs podcast, but if you guys are listening to this at a later time, this hour of our 3-hour show every Friday morning is going to be the Scene Snobs podcast for next week. It, of course, is preloaded, ready to go. And we are doing this to talk about our best of lists for 2022 going into 2023. So we wanted to save that for this final hour, talk about it. And you guys can, you know, of course, are watching or listening to it as the Scene Snobs podcast. But that's why it's a little mixed up. That's why you see Snob Nation everywhere. It's a part of that morning show. So if you are watching or listening to the Scene Snobs podcast, you might want to check out that show that we do on Friday mornings.
Yeah, absolutely. The Scene Snobs present the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show every Friday morning, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., where we try to get your weekend started the right way, the Snobs way.
Damn right. And, you know, I appreciate it. It's our last show of the year. I'm very excited to be here talking to you. We just had Sturdy on, which is great. And I like having guests, especially in that second hour. I feel like you're at that lull. You're talking about the news. You bring people in. And it was fun.
Well, and the second hour is nice because if you or I ever need to kick off for a break, that's a good time. You know, if the body starts to call.
Yeah, that's true. Coffee sets in and such. Okay. So Case.
Or some people actually have, like, you know, maybe Dunkin' Donuts being delivered to their house and they thought it was going to be here way earlier, but it's just now going to arrive. I was really thinking about 40 minutes ago it was going to be here, but it is taking over an hour and 15 minutes now. So
still not there. Jeez.
Still not here. I was trying to get it before this portion. It's not going to happen. So if at any point you see me get up and run away, I'll be right back.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll get there. So, and we'll continue on. So I thought we would do our top 10 list. So the list I sent to you yesterday to do was top 10 movies of 2022, top 10 shows of 2022.
Yep.
Top 10 new characters of 2022.
Yep.
Top 10 celebrity scandals of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And top 10 anything of 2022 that fits in your list.
Okay.
So I want to start with the movies, the TV. I want to do it in that order. The reason being is I feel like we're going to probably talk more about the scandals and stuff like that, or the anythings. So I want to, let's trade off. Let's do our top 10 movies.
Okay.
Starting with number 10. What is your number 10 best movie of 2022?
So I went strictly on how I felt and how I enjoyed these movies. Being a snob, one might think I went a little deeper than that and maybe went to evaluate what I think the best overall movie of 2022 was. I did not. I went full baser level. What I like, what entertained me, what did I enjoy, and what do I see as being a movie that I'll return to? So those are some of the qualifications for that. Sorry, man, I'm just struggling this morning.
You're good, man. You're all good, brother.
So my number 10 is actually an odd one because it's something I don't normally do. And I've always the one who complains about reboots, but I think this was one of the better versions that came out, and it is Prey. Prey is my number 10 movie of 2022, a movie I will revisit a lot, one that I think did great with the Predator story, and one that I actually really cared about all the characters and enjoyed the process and just really loved watching that movie beginning to end.
Okay. All right. I dig it. All right, and now keep in mind, everybody, we haven't seen everything that came out in 2022. So
No.
this list is based on the things that we've seen that we're putting together. Did you remember to hit order, Casey?
Yeah, look, I see how that could have happened, but no, I did in fact, and I kept checking. And in fact, Sturdy, when you jumped on, that's when I went to jump out front, like maybe they just missed it. No, that was not the deal.
I'm in an interesting turn. Oh, are they here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right,
I want to hear
go
yours.
ahead. So in an interesting turn, I'm going to say The Batman is my number 10.
Nice. I love that.
I think it's a great choice. You go. I'll take you off real quick and then I'll talk. So The Batman for me was a really good movie. I thought they did a great job. Pattinson was a really good Bruce Wayne Batman at the early stages of his career. I really like how they kind of left this at a point where it's like, all right, he's a couple of years into this. He's not new at it, but he's still he hasn't picked up on all the nuances of what we know of Batman yet. And the story overall, the rise of like who this character is, was really well done, in my opinion. It's starting out with how dark it is, how dark he is, and then how by the end of it, he has to become this hero that's saving Gotham, not just from the criminal underbelly, but like Gotham in a whole. And Gotham is in distress, even if it's a natural or whatever cause. Wasn't a natural cause in the movie, of course. He's back there and he realizes this is who I have to step up to be. And that's why it fits on my list. I think it's a really well done movie, both in terms of drama, storytelling. It looks fantastic. Matt Reeves did a great job. There's a lot of movies that are on my list that will probably make no sense to have this at number 10, and I know a lot of people really love this movie, and I'm with you. And Paul Dano's performance made sure it was on my list for sure. Oh, Casey's back. Let me bring him in.
Well, yeah, man. They say they're here. They texted me they're here, but they're not here.
They'll be there. They'll be there soon. I promise you.
Okay. So
I just cut out the middleman. I got a coffee maker. I was like, I'm going to make my coffee.
Smart.
No. So yeah. So the Batman is my number 10.
Okay. Excellent. My number 9, which is a bit of an odd one to see it. So the thing is, I put down my top movies, and it just wound up being too many. I put 18, so I've got to order them as I go. But
Fair.
My number 9 is Death on the Nile. Actually,
okay.
This one,
right.
I love Death on the Nile. The remakes of it's the follow-up, of course, to Death on the Orient Express, another Branagh creation, Kenneth Branagh.
I liked it. I did. I didn't like it as
job.
much as the first one, but I did like it.
That's fair. I thought it was as good. Not really. It was different. It was a little different, and I enjoyed the nuances. And I just love Branagh. I'm a Branagh simp, man. Whatever the man does, I'm in.
Okay, my number 9 is The Fabelmans, Steven Spielberg's new movie that's very personal to his life. Basically, it's a biography on his life. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a beautiful movie, well told, well acted. Michelle Williams did a fantastic job in this movie. And as did Paul Dano. Again, another Paul Dano movie. You put him in something, and it seems like you're going to get a great movie.
Paul Dano's on fire.
Yeah, and Seth Rogen too. Seth Rogen did a really good job. He was like the yin to Paul Dano's yang, but they play best friends in the movie, and it becomes corrupted in a way. But the kid who plays basically the Spielberg, he plays Sam in the movie, does a fantastic job. And it was cool to see him make movies in it the same way Steven Spielberg did. And not to take it away, because I'm not going to spoil what happens in the scene, but
Right.
If you're a Spielberg fan, you know that early in his life, he met John Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes in and he replays that whole thing. Now, I've heard him in interviews talk about that meeting a lot, and the story's never changed. It's always been the same. And now he shows it. And that's all I'm going to say. And there's a very famous director who plays John Ford in it. And I dug that. I thought that was really cool.
Okay, that's fun. I like that.
What do you got for number 9?
Number 8.
No,
number
9.
8. I already said
9.
9 was Death on the Nile.
What was your 10?
Prey.
Yeah, I knew that. Go with 8. I forgot where we were.
So number 8 for me is The Gray Man, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. Chris Evans especially stepping out and playing a complete psychopath was a hoot.
Yeah.
I had a blast watching him do that. That was a lot of fun. It was a really good character. I love good character stories, and these are all fantastic actors. Everyone did a great job in this movie. So The Gray Man was a fun, simple, easy, digestible, and it was good because it was the Russo brothers. So it was fun seeing them do something outside of Marvel that I hadn't seen, and it was done really well. So big fan of that one this year.
Nice. For me, and it's out of the blue, it's 8. Came out last February, starring Zoe what's her name? Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz.
Mhm.
I could not think of Kravitz. I knew her, I could see her, but I just could not think of Kravitz. It was Kimmy. She's a recluse shut-in who works from home, does her thing. She's terrified to go outside. She deals with that all the time. And she works for this company. It's basically kind of like an Alexa, but it's called a Kimmy.
Okay.
And what she does is she listens to like complaints or other things like this or other stuff that might come through to see if like, okay, was this something that was a malfunction or this, that, or the other thing? And she hears a murder in it.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a murder that happens at the Kimmy headquarters, the place she works for.
Oh, okay.
That's connected to it. And it becomes like this, it becomes like kind of an intense thriller, almost in the vein of a remake of, if people haven't seen it, Wait Until Dark.
Oh, yeah.
And if you haven't seen that, I suggest you see that too. But Kimmy, I thought it was a good job. That's my number 8.
Okay. Strong. I like that. My number 7, moving right along, is
Nice.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to say that's my number 7 too, but you go ahead.
Okay. The reason it is number 1, I think it was one of the better Marvel movies this year. For me, it was my favorite. I enjoyed it the most. Obviously, Sam Raimi. Anything Sam Raimi does is going to be a bump up. And this was such a really well done flick. And for the not just for the phase where we are in Marvel, but as a movie on whole, in its entirety, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah. So, I'm a big fan. That's what made my number 7.
Nice, very nice, and for all the same reasons. So, I don't want to elaborate any more than that because
we said it.
We said it.
We said it.
All right, you go ahead.
Okay, my number 6 is I'm really torn on this one. I put down both of them, and I think I'm just going to state both of them. I put Pearl and X as a dual runner for 6.
Okay, that works.
Because I love this story with what Ty West is doing. Mia Goth is crushing it in this character role. She's doing such a fantastic job. Her acting is just out of this world. I'm sold the whole way through. She emotes so well with her face. So I'm a huge fan of it. I love the fact that there's going to be another one. I can't wait for the third one to come out. So very impressed with what Ty West has done with that.
Nice. I dig it. That's a good pick. Mine is Decisions to Leave. It's a Korean film by Park Chan-wook. He directed. It's like a mirror mystery. He did The Handmaiden. He did Old Boy and Snowpiercer. He does some really good work. And this was a really good one. So if anybody hasn't had a chance to see it, and I don't want to give it away because it's pretty intense little thriller. But if I think it definitely deserves to be on the list. So this is my number 7, Decisions to Leave. If you haven't had a chance, go check it out.
I love it. All right. So what are we up to? This is number 5?
No, 6.
We both just did 6. So now I'm on 5.
Wait. Let me count this again. So
because Pearl and X,
Batman.
Yeah.
What was my number 9? What was your number 9?
Mine was Death on the Nile. Was my number 9.
I don't remember. I didn't have it written down. I had it up and I screwed it up. You guys heard it. You guys
started flip flopping. All right, so
no, we are on 6. You're right.
No, we're on number.
No, we're on 5. We're on 5. All right, I know where we are. We're
professionals. So number 5 for me is All the Old Knives. I love this one because I thought it was a fantastic CIA spy thriller. I love those movies. I love those shows. I just finished Jack Ryan, so big fan of anything that's along those lines. And I thought that Chris, of course, I'm going to forget his name, Chris Pine and Tandy Newton were just phenomenal in this. They did such a great job. I love the roles. It didn't It was nothing that tried to break the wheel. It was nothing like new and out of the ordinary. It was just a really well done spy thriller that I feel like you only get one of these every 10 years or so, that comes out and just hits all the tropes and nails them and is a lot of fun. Good twists along the way. So
I like that. Yeah. My number 5 for me is The Adam Project.
ooh,
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really well done sci-fi action adventure movie with a great cast. It's fun in such a great way, but there's a lot of heart to it, and I love the father and son stuff, and just having to kind of deal with yourself too in your childhood. So yeah, I love The Adam Project. Thought it was fantastic.
That's awesome. That's strong. Good choice. All right, my number 4.
Yep.
Here we go. Nope.
Yes, I'm with you. That's my number 4.
I absolutely love this movie so much. Jordan Peele's third movie. It just crushes it, knocked it out of the water. I could not have been more impressed. Knocked it out of the park. Sorry. I don't know why you knock it out of the water. Can you knock it out of the water? Maybe with dynamite.
I can.
Of course you can. No one doubts your ability to knock it out of the water, bro.
I do it all the time.
I thought the twist in Nope was fantastic. I thought the way they played on all the classic tropes for something that I wasn't ready for and then spun it on its head. Wonderful movie. Really well done. So
okay. I like that a lot. I think that's great. My number, so we're on number 3 or number 4?
Number 3. Yeah. Your 4 was Nope as well, you said.
Yeah. That's why I realized like I didn't say anything. So number 3 for me, I'm probably gonna have to say Sonic 2.
Wow. Okay.
I loved it. I thought it was
All right.
so much fun, and I thought they did such a great job with it. I have to tie it up because I'm thinking of other animated movies. Like Sonic 2 is great, but I'm going to tie it with the Sea Beast.
Ooh,
Sea
you know
Beast
what?
was
Sea Beast
so
was
good.
Really good. Really
Yeah.
good. I'm surprised I don't actually have much or any animated this year. I probably should have covered some of those. Maybe there will be a children's categories next year. We'll break it down by category. But my number 3 is The Greatest Beer Run Ever.
It's a good one.
I loved this movie so much. I was a huge fan of it the whole way through. It was a really fun jaunt. It was kin to Good Morning Vietnam, one of my all-time favorites. So big fan, great performances. Zac Efron crushed it. So all the way.
I'm gonna just throw this out there as we usually do horror and we're pretty horror based. But we didn't do a top 10 for horror. So can we just agree that like Ty West, X, and Pearl are probably the best of the year?
I'll agree. Absolutely. I match them with Nope, but Pearl and X are definitely, whatever they're going to wrap up in this third is going to be phenomenal. I think it's some of the best horror I've seen in a long time. That was engaging, fascinating, scary, but not. It's more creepy. It's Ty West creepy. Creepy scary.
Yeah. So we're number 2?
Number 2, buddy.
Wakanda Forever.
Wow, really?
It's so good. It's such a great movie.
I still haven't seen it. There's a whole lot I haven't gone and seen. I'm so far behind. Like ever since sometime around fall, that fall winter, once it hit, I was just like, nothing new.
Yeah. It deserves to be on the list, and I love it.
Okay.
And I'm surprised it's not on more.
I'm excited to check it out.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is The Stranger. This one is fantastic.
Oh, is that with Joel Edgerton?
Yes. Joel Edgerton. Sorry, I had so many other different things brought up. I want to pull it up because I want to do it justice because I can't remember the other actor's name, and he's fantastic. Sean Harris. Sean Harris absolutely crushes this. This is directed by Thomas M. Wright, who also wrote it. And the story is basically it's compelling, and it's a undercover sting operation like you've never seen before, and it's done really well and very, very well paced. And they literally hold the entirety of the movie until the last possible moment. It was like Maxwell House, good to the last drop, man. Nice. They did it really well. So, yeah, The Stranger's my number 2.
Great choice. So number 1 for me, and in my opinion, the best movie of the year, which nobody is probably agreeing with me, but whatever. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. is my number one of the year, hands
Yeah.
down. It's the best multiversal movie I think we've ever gotten.
I'll agree with that.
Michelle Yeoh deserves
Phenomenal.
a nomination, if not the win. If in an ideal world, if the Oscars was actually not complete and utter bullshit, it would be best actress goes to Michelle Yeoh, best supporting actress goes to Angela Bassett.
Oh, really? Angela Bassett? I was saying Jamie Lee Curtis.
Get the fuck out of here! No. Oh, I'm sorry. She was so good. She's such a good actor. I forgot she was in everything.
Yeah.
There you go. I was thinking Halloween Ends. I'm like,
no, that's not what I was talking about, bro. Come on now. Okay, my number one.
Yeah.
If you're ready. Amsterdam.
Over everything, everywhere else. You didn't even put it on the list.
Nope.
You put that on the list.
I put Amsterdam on the list. I loved Amsterdam. Amsterdam is one of those movies that, see, Doctor Strange got my multiverse twinge.
I love it.
I mean, and look, Everywhere, Everywhere, All at Once is phenomenal, and it's one of these that I wrote down here, along with All Quiet on the Western Front. I think it was one of the greatest versions I've ever seen. And Luckiest Girl Alive. I thought that was phenomenal. Mila Kunis gives such a fantastic performance. There's a boatload of them, but Amsterdam just broke down to being such an enjoyable, fun movie. I love the dialogue in it. I love Christian Bale in it. Margot Robbie crushes it. Just everything was done really well. So big fan, and that's where I throw my lot in for my number one of 2022.
I'm going to amend something here.
Okay, amend away.
I'm taking Sonic out of 3 spot. Ooh. And Top Gun Maverick.
All right. Okay. All right.
It deserves it. I'm even as much as I love the Sea Beast. I'm kind of no. I'll leave it on there. It's tied.
I was blown away that you didn't bring up Top Gun Maverick before this moment. I'm like, how in the world did you get there?
I think I was looking when I made the list. I was looking at it more from the standpoint of like what's out there, what's something we haven't really talked about. And Top Gun Maverick is, but I've watched Top Gun Maverick 8 times. In 2022.
I believe
it's a go-to fun movie for me.
And if you're going to watch it that much, it's got to make a list, bro. Exactly. It's not fair to not. I mean, and that's kind of why I put Amsterdam on here. It was the movie that took me like 6 times to actually get all the way through. I tried to watch little bits at work that didn't, there's just, it's too interrupted. There's no way to sit down and watch this long movie. Tried to watch it at home, just get interrupted by other things happening, going on. So I'm like, well, when am I going to sit down and watch this? By the time I finally sat down and watched it, I loved the parts I was reviewing. There was not that feeling of, oh, let me just skip ahead. I was like, I can't wait to see this scene again. So being excited like that, it definitely made it up there.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. All right, let's motor through. Let's get to best TV shows.
Let me go grab my food real quick.
Yeah, do your thing. So I'll start with my number 10. Oh, excuse me. So for me, I'm going with TV shows that came out in 2022. I don't know what Casey chose as he went on. I'm not so much looking at new seasons as it's come out. And for me, number 10 would be Moon Knight. I really enjoyed Moon Knight. I thought they did a great job with it. Oscar Isaac stepped up and was just so much fun during the whole thing. It has to be my number 10. It deserves to be on the list, in my opinion. And if I'm going to stick a Marvel show anywhere on this list, it's going to be that's probably where it'll be. I don't know that I have another one that's going to be in there. But I said my number 10 is Moon Knight.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Because I actually considered what I was going to put in for number 10. And Moon Knight was one of them. But I actually went another way, and I went Ms. Marvel.
Yeah, I liked Miss Marvel, but it didn't reach my list.
I get that. For me it does though, because I have a daughter. And she's in love with that show. It's a show we can safely, comfortably rewatch, and it gives her that superhero, gives her that young, exciting superhero, and the actress crushes it in this. I mean, she did such a fantastic job. I was a huge fan. So that's my number 10. Moon Knight's a good call though. Werewolf by Night almost got up there too. Marvel did a great job this year.
I put that in movies. I put that in as like a TV movie. Yeah, but it doesn't fit my movie list. You know what I mean?
The same.
But I dig it. So what's your number 9?
Okay, my number 9. What did I do for number 9? I went with Reacher.
Good one.
I loved Reacher. I think Amazon's Reacher was fantastic.
They
Did a
great job.
really good job with that one. So I liked it more than the Tom Cruise version. And that's not putting the Tom Cruise version down. I'm not saying it sucks, but after seeing this version, the Alan Richardson, it's like, come on.
Yeah. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah. So Reacher's number 9 this year.
All right, I like that. For me, my next one's going to be Obi-Wan.
Okay. All right.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I know a lot of people had problems with it. I didn't. It's, I don't know. It's it was that good. Honestly, it really was just well done, and yeah, just think it deserves to be on the list personally.
I am actually putting my number 8 as Obi-Wan.
Nice,
because I completely agree with you. I think they did a really good job. I think by the time the sum of its parts was better than each individual scene, and Ewan McGregor, just to see Ewan McGregor back on, to see my Obi-Wan one more time was so huge and fantastic. So it definitely had to make the list, without a doubt.
And I'm flip-flopping with you because my number 8 is going to be Reacher.
Nice. Okay, cool. It's a good back and forth.
And it fit into the list for me.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. It was it's one of those I didn't have it on my list till you just said it, and I was like, Reacher deserves to be on there.
Yeah. I think it was that good.
Oh yeah. I agree. 100%. All right. Which is your number 7?
My number 7 is actually, I'm trying to find it right now. Sorry. Andor.
Oh, you're good. Which one?
Andor.
And I still haven't finished it, so that's why it's not on my list.
So Andor, for me, until you finish it, it's not going to mean anything. The moment you finish it, it's better than Obi-Wan. I believe it. It was a cut above. I love Andor enough that I will go back and rewatch this repeatedly. Obi-Wan, I go back for scenes. Like, there's a lot of scenes I like going back or rewatching an episode. It's cool. But Andor, for the story, for the entirety and what they do, like, it was worth, after completing it, I had to do a rewatch and was like, all right, let me throw this back on. Because those first 3 episodes that I complained about, that I thought were unnecessary, they're just repeating themselves. It's just a lot of world building. It's taking a long time to get anywhere. By the time you get to the end, you go, that's why. Dig it. Okay. So it made a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right. So that was your number 6. My number 6 is Murderville. I thought this show, straight up improv.
That was my number 7. So your number 6 is Murderville.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So Murderville is my number 6.
And we're actually the same on that one. We both had Murderville.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. It's just such a fun improv show. I really love what they did with it. The movie was fantastic as well.
Oh my God. Who Killed Santa was so funny.
Oh my God. They're just cracking up. I watched it again the other day. And I loved it.
It's classic.
Hands down. So how about, what's your number 6? Oh, you said Murderville is the same for you. So number 5 for me is Peacemaker.
This is terrifying.
What?
You and I are the same.
I think we gravitate towards that stuff, man. That's
we do. And I think Peacemaker was done so well. That's not to put down any of the other superhero shows that came out and have been done and were done. But I think Peacemaker, it's funny. It's a good time. It allows you to laugh and enjoy yourself and just be silly. And Gunn just absolutely smoked it. Did great. And I mean, everyone acting in it's doing a wonderful job. Scene is hilarious.
So this mine, that was number 5. So my number 4 is one that talking about like when we're talking about TV shows, like this was more of like a mini series. There's a docu-mini series. But I think that still fits. I think that still works under this.
Sir, I won't fight you.
It's we need to talk about Cosby. W. Kamau Bell put out a docuseries about everything that happened with Bill Cosby, and it's so well done and thought out, and it was just a wonderful piece.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm really curious to see what that's like. I want to watch that.
Yeah, I really think you should, because I never knew this, but like they shined a light on a lot of things, and like the horrific things he was doing, but also the other things that he was doing. Where did you realize that he ushered in black stunt artists? There were none before him. What? And they were what they would do is they would put white stunt artists in blackface, even as women and stuff like that. Like, and he helped usher in. He was like, none of them look like me, and we're not doing this. And like, he's doing action with I Spy and such. And yeah, he helped usher in black stuntmen and women.
Wow.
So I just thought that was really well, and to see those turns, but what he was doing on the side, it was horrific, but it was just so well done.
That's awesome.
So, all right, so that was our number 4.
Yes, that's your number 4. My number 4 is Rings of Power, the Amazon series that I was a big fan of. I was waiting for Lord of the Rings to blow this one out of the water. They did a great job. I love this series. I can't wait to see what they do. I am excited for what they've put together, and I'm hopeful of what I'm going to see in the future.
This one's sort of it's more of
number 3.
Sorry. Oh, we're on number 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one for me is more. Wait, are we on number 3? No, we're not. I had Moon Knight, Obi-Wan, Reacher, Murderville, Peacemaker. We need to talk about Cosby. And I have 6.
Oh, so you're on 4. So you're on number 4. Sorry.
I'm on number 4. Yeah.
You're on number
4. So so as we need to talk about Cosby. Cars on the Road again. Or Cars on the Road. It was just one that, like, I love the Cars movies. Second one, you know what it is. But I love the first and third one, and I love those characters, and I just always have a lot of fun with them. I watched it with my son. So for me, it's more of on a connection level. Had a good time with it. And, it's just for a personal level for me of the friendship aspect and stuff like that. It hit right. And I thought it was a really well done show. Now, remember, my list this is the best of 2020.
No,
it's the best of 2020.
Our favorite that we loved. This is what we loved.
Yeah. So that Cars on the Road is on my list.
Awesome.
And that's my number
3. So for me, I absolutely have to go House of Dragons.
Okay.
Is my number 3. Game of Thrones doing a fantastic job as always. Big fan of the early season when they were earlier in the season with the younger actresses. They were phenomenal. Grown-up actresses did a great job as well. Love the characters. Love everything they're doing about it. Matt Smith gets to be a bad guy. I love seeing Matt Smith be a bad guy. He's fantastic. Patty Covington was really good. Just great.
I have not watched it yet.
So yeah, really big fan of House of Dragons. Like what they're doing, like the story. Excited to see more, but definitely my number 3.
My number 3 is The Offer. It was about the making of The Godfather.
Yeah.
With Miles Teller did a great job as the producer, and just everything kind of stepping in, all the odds they had to go against, like the mafia against them, and then when the mafia was like, all right, we'd love it, go for it, and they became friendly. It's like him having to maneuver through all of that. Dan Fogelman plays Francis Ford Coppola in it. It's a great job. Like, just the whole thing was really well done. It's a fun story being told. I just loved it. I think everybody should check it out. And it's a limited series, so you finish it in the 9 episodes.
Awesome.
What's your number 3, sir?
This would be my number 2.
I forget where we are.
I know, it's okay.
You can tell me.
My number 2 is SAS Rogue Heroes.
Okay.
I love this show so much. World War II series. I can't even remember where it's playing, if it's on Netflix or where you can find it. But it is fantastic. Alfie Allen's in it, does a really good job. Oh, it's a BBC show. Nice. So I'm not even sure what platform I found it on. But basically, it's very much a British Dirty Dozen, taking place in how the SAS were basically created, parachuting to break up supply lines in Northern Africa. So a lot of fun, really a lot of ridiculousness, and one of my favorite characters of the year, which made it to my top 10 list.
Nice. So, love it. All right.
Stay tuned. So that's my number 2.
Number 2 for me is Tulsa King. I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it.
Of course you are.
It's fun, man. It's just different. I think Stallone's doing a good job. I think when Stallone has direction, and it's not just him. Like, and I don't dislike his movies, but they are in the Stallone wheelhouse when he directs.
That's very true.
I think when somebody else steps in, is telling him like, this is what it is. This is where it's got to go. Blah blah blah. He's in. Like, he's just and he think he bought into this. He trusts Taylor Sheridan, and they're making a good product off of it.
Good. Well, that's exciting.
What's your number one?
Okay, my number one, drum roll. Everyone get excited because you know what it's going to be. Strange New Worlds.
Okay, good one. That almost made my list.
The greatest Star Trek show series, like, it's since Next Gen. I put it up there. I love it.
Next Gen was terrible, so it's okay.
Clearly, yeah, you're on so much crack. It's ridiculous. I thought we already covered crack is bad.
Well, you know me. I like DS9 better, but I do.
I know you do. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
But Strange New Worlds, I think, does a fantastic job doing that handoff between what Discovery was doing into where, the original series will pick up inevitably.
You had to do this. You had to, and I'm so glad they did.
Yep.
Because if you really were like, this is what the world was like, Discovery, and then was like, oh no, but it goes to the original, you're like, you're sick.
It's bullcorn. Like, you couldn't do that. So I'm glad they did this. And Anson Mount playing Captain Pike is just out of this world.
He's very good.
So good. He's so fantastic. Rebecca Romijn as Umna, number one, is great. I mean, every single character is just crushing it. And I love the way they're filming it, the way they're telling the story. And it's just Trek. It just feels like Trek. It's all Trek, and it's beautiful, wonderful Trek. It's my favorite version. It's the Trek I want. So, of course, it's my favorite. It would be number one. What's your number one, buddy?
My number one is Wednesday.
Wow. Okay.
It's very good. It's a very good show. She does a fantastic job. And by no means do I dislike the Addams Family in any way. I liked watching the show. I was more of a Munsters guy, but I did like watching the Addams Family. I like the movies a lot. They're not go-tos for me anymore, but that's not because I dislike them. I haven't gone back.
I burned out number two. I watched it so much. I'm
good.
I'm more of an Addams Family guy over Munsters, oddly. So I love the Addams Family, and I'm only 2 episodes into Wednesday, so that's why I couldn't, good conscience, put it on my list. But
that's completely fair. But I bet you can see why it would be.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I mean, there's no Jenna Ortega crushes it. She's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I've been a fan of hers ever since Babysitter Killer Queen, which oddly was only a couple years ago. All these baby actors and actresses. I'm like, I'm getting so much older.
She was good. She's very good. She does the horror really well. And she knows the genre, so I appreciate her for that. But what she did in this was just fantastic. And I arbitrarily decided that this was going to be like another tween TV show like Sabrina and stuff like that. Nope. It's just so good.
I think that was my hesitation in jumping into it, is because I was trying to watch Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I really like that show. I do.
There's
just certain parts where it's like, this is not for me. That's all it is. It's just not for me. And I'm like, that's cool. I still respect it. That they're doing a great job. They're putting together a great story. It's just not my story.
Yeah. I have a feeling 1923 might get on that list in the future because it's been good. I think people should check it out. But all right, let's go to our best characters of 20 because we're already at 9:44 and we got to do this.
Okay. All right.
And now only came out in 2022. What's who are your favorite characters that were introduced in that time?
Okay, so I actually, oddly enough, switched it for my number 10 here. Stephen Grant, Moon Knight.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think he does such a really good job, and I loved Oscar Isaac's portrayal of him. I was a big fan of what he did and how he showed that different. Anyone who does multiple personalities, I'm a fan of. So that made my number 10.
It's a good one. Because I haven't finished it, I didn't want to keep it going. But Cassian Andor made my list.
Okay.
For number 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure it will go up by the time. And I know he wasn't introduced in 2022, but this show was. And this is a different Cassian Andor than we saw in Rogue One.
Yep.
So I think personally, I think it should count.
I'll agree with that. No, absolutely. I love the Cassian Andor and the fact, you're watching him grow. You're seeing him become who we see. And that's the cool thing about only getting 2 seasons is the first season is how he gets there. Second season is how he grows in the ranks, and that's all I want. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to be perfect. My number 9, moving on to number 9. That's a good one. I like your 10. Is Tori Toombs, played by Riley Dandy in Christmas Bloody Christmas.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because I think she was Linda Hamilton out of Terminator better.
Okay.
So if you're going to portray essentially one of my favorite all-time characters and just be that cool on screen, then yeah, you're gonna get a lot of love from me.
I haven't finished it, so I can't tell.
Finish it already.
I know. All right, I'll finish it, but that's not on my list. So, all right, going in, and so that was number 9, right? Or that was your number 9.
That's my number 9. You need yours.
My number 9 is Blackbeard from Our Flag Means Death.
Yes, what a
He was
great
so
one.
good. Taika did a great job.
He does. Gosh, you know what? Now I'm going to swap mine.
Oh, really?
I want to swap mine because I think he was so fantastic.
He did,
that show was one of those shows that got muddled and pushed back for me. And then by the time I caught up and watched it, everyone else had already finished it. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
All right, so that was number 9. What's your number 8?
Okay, my number 8 is actually going to be Blackbeard. Because that was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you swap them out in your number 8.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. My number 8.
He was already on my list. I just hadn't written him down there. I was like, all right, yeah, no, he's better. Yeah.
I get it. My number 8 is young Leia from Obi-Wan.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, man. You cheer her on the whole way. That's 100%. What a good call.
Yeah, she was so good. She made that show even better. And because, I know Leia's not a new character, but she was a new version of Leia, and I still think it fits. Personally,
I'll agree with that. 100% agree with that.
All right, you said Blackbeard was your number 8, so now we're on to number 7. What's yours?
Number 7, Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. He was amazing.
Okay.
It was Eddie, man. How can you not love Eddie with that guitar solo? And his
I do, and he's on my list, but I'm not going to tell you where.
Okay, fair. I just love his acting too. I think he really sold fear. That was the thing that got me, is he sold being afraid and on the run so well. So yeah, he's up there.
100%. All right. So mine is, so we're on number 7. Mine is Soldier Boy from The Boys.
Awesome. Okay.
I thought he did such a good job in that show. And I love Jensen Ackles. I'm a big Supernatural fan. So having him join up was huge. I thought that was fantastic. But yeah, Soldier Boy from what do you call it? The Boys.
The Boys.
Jesus.
You just said
Jesus. Why is it not coming out quick enough?
Your brain is moving at a weird pace.
I'm getting the next list ready.
Oh, fair. Yeah. Well, that one's huge. That one's problematic. I didn't even bother putting it in order. Yeah. All right. So we are on number 6.
That was, you're
so my number 6 is Vigilante from Peacemaker.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I love Vigilante so much. He was such a great sidekick character to have. And he just kept the show always fresh and going with saying the most ridiculous stuff. And, it's fun seeing a psychopath be a psychopath. So, cool.
Okay.
So
cool.
He made my number 6.
I like it. Okay. So for me, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel is my number 5.
Awesome.
Well, that is number 5. Wait. 9, 8,
no,
7,
that's
6,
your 5.
6.
Yeah.
That was 6.
Oh, that's your 6. Okay.
This is my 6. Okay. Kamala Khan from Miss Marvel. She did such a great job. I liked the show a lot. It's not one that blew me away. Iman Vellani, she came in and she took over this role, and she did a great job with it. And she built a really fun character from the comic books and put it on screen. She deserves to be on the list. I think she built a great character.
I completely agree with that statement, and that's the reason that Ms. Marvel was number 10. Oddly, for me, there were so many other great characters out there. It was difficult to put her up there.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
All right, so number 5 is where we're
at. Number 5. Let me look at mine because I feel like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch these two. This is going to be my number 5. but it is Beth from The Accursed, played by Sarah Dumont. I think, and I will die on this hill, that she is one of the best friends in any horror movie ever. I think she portrayed the perfect best friend, and I love that character so much. And the fact that it's a friend of the show was just a cherry on top.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we love Sarah.
Beth absolutely deserves a spot here.
Nice. My number 5 is Vigilante from Peacemaker.
Nice.
He was such a great character. He did such a great job in that, and I really enjoyed his portrayal. And to cross that into number 4 and go first to jump you, Peacemaker is my number 4.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They were both great characters.
I think I probably should have put him on here. I didn't. I was doing I was looking for the Rosencrantz and the Guildensterns. Yeah, I wasn't really looking at main characters. Moon Knight, I think, is the most main character I got. Well, Tory Toombs was pretty main character. But my number 4 actually goes to, what did I put as number 4? Whoops. Lieutenant Ortegas from Strange New Worlds. She's one of the...
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would have went with Uhura personally. But, I guess she's not a new character, but she did a great job as Uhura.
And that's why I didn't, because I didn't use Uhura. I didn't want to use Pike. I didn't want to use any of the existings. Even Jess Bush, who does a great job playing Nurse Chapel. I think Lieutenant Ortegas being a new character done really well and showing that fun. Her interactions with the captain are just a hoot. It is so much fun listening to their back and forth. So, yeah, big fan of her. That actress is phenomenal. So, love the job done.
Perfect. Number 3. What's your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is actually from that SAS Rogue Heroes show that I was talking about earlier. Patty Mayne. He is just the biggest jerk face in the world who wants nothing but to basically like not drink and fight. He's played by Jack O'Connell, who does a great job just playing this sort of zealot of a human being who has the strangest code that you feel like the code is forever moving. And it's like, is that really a solid code? So it's a lot of fun. He's a great character. I really enjoyed it. So that's my number 3.
I love it. All right. I have a tie for my number 3.
Okay.
It's Carmi Berzatto from The Bear.
The Bear. Yes. Yep.
Great one. But he's tied with Namor.
Really?
Yeah.
I love both. Okay.
And it's because of who my 2 and 1 are. Mm-hmm. I had to put those at 3. I could have easily dropped somebody, but I feel like everybody I've added to the list was good, and Namor deserved to be on the list personally.
No, I'll agree with that 100%. I think that's a good choice. That's a very good call.
What's your number 3?
My number 2 is Detective Terry Seattle from Murderville. He keeps me coming back every week. I love Will Arnett so much, and it's great to be able to pop him on between Arrested Development, but I feel like I've kind of burned through all of that so much that now having a new version of essentially the same character is fantastic. Because I could see Terry Seattle if like a failed Job, Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So that was he was great. I was a huge fan of him. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Finish it. We need your review, man, for Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Mm-hmm. So okay, my number 2 for me is Eddie Munson.
Oh, really? That high?
Yeah, he deserves it. I mean, that epic guitar solo alone in that moment, making it great, and his eventual demise. And just everything throughout, he did a fantastic job. He deserves it.
Awesome. And
great call. Let's do number 1s real quick, and then move on.
Number 1. So my number 1 goes to both. It's once again a split between Pearl and Maxine, played by Mia Goth. Okay. Once again, those movies are so fantastic, and she really is the driver behind them. And Ty West's direction, the story they're telling, I'm such a fan, and seeing her acting, she's just crushing it, knocking it out of the park. And I love her character, the emoting again, being able to say so much without a word was fantastic. So yeah, she's my numero uno.
My number 1 is Wednesday Addams.
Hey, there you go.
This is a character who's existed forever, but they finally gave her layers.
Mm-hmm.
They finally gave her emotions. They finally get even if it's just a twinge of the eye, they gave something to her.
It's still something.
Yeah. So that's our 10 best characters. Let's move on to celebrity scandals. Let's do scandals and mix the news. So do you have lists for both?
I really only have like the scandals one, and I don't really have much. Honestly, I spent a lot of time working on the movies and TV shows because I just kept cultivating through them. So
we'll just do the last few minutes. We'll do some. I'll throw out some scandals. And
I've got a few. Oh, I've got some.
All right.
I definitely have.
What do you got for your number 10?
Okay, so if we're going my number 10, actually, it was the Gerard Piqué and Shakira split. That was a big one for me. That was big because, Shakira, big fan of hers. Have been for a long time. And it was an odd thing because I've actually, watched Piqué play and I've followed a little bit of what was going on. And it was one of those celebrity scandals that caught me for a moment. So that's my number 10.
Mine is the Joe Rogan Spotify controversy.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
that's my number 9. So yeah.
Okay, very cool. I mean, we all know it, everybody. So if you have questions about it, just ask. But that's what it is for now. So that's my number 9. What's your number? So that's your number 9?
Yeah, that's my number 9 as well.
So that was my number 10. Yours, and now my number 9.
Back on 9. Yep.
My number 9 is the Will Smith Chris Rock slap.
Oh, that's so low.
I know.
But
it's on the list.
Low. Mick, what else happened this year? Yeah, 2020 is a weird year.
So much.
All right. Mine is my number 8. Then if we're moving on to 8, because we're just kind of breezing through these, right?
Yeah, let's just breeze through.
All right. James Corden.
Yeah.
I love the James Corden. Everyone, there's a lot of controversies. There's not one. Like he's been kicked out of like 3 different places, temporarily banned from another restaurant, all kinds of stuff going on with this guy. So he's a diva. Get over it. Get out of the way. He's a diva. So that's my number 8.
Okay. So we're on to number 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My number 7 is what do you call it? The Sam Elliott one, where he went on and he basically made fun of the Western movie with what's her name? Like he was just like why can't men be men or something anymore?
Yeah.
And everybody collectively lost their minds.
Yeah, man. Because Sam Elliott essentially was like, cowboys should be cowboys, and it's like, all right.
Yeah. and then like everybody freaked out and was like, really, you're mad that Sam Elliott said that? He made his life on playing cowboys. Like, calm down.
Exactly. What do you expect from the guy?
Yeah. So that was like, and that's on the list because it's so ridiculous.
I'm gonna make that my number 7. I wasn't going to, but that one fits better, and I don't want to mention anyone with a K last name. So yeah, Sam Elliott's a better mention.
K last name.
It rhymes with Kardashian.
No, that's fair. That's just annoying in general.
Exactly.
So what are we on? Number
6.
Number 6. The Adam Levine cheating scandal.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. That is not my number 6, but I agree with you. Yes.
It's so ridiculous.
Yep.
Wife is smoking hot. He goes after a younger girl. He's an idiot. I mean, he responds like an idiot because he is an idiot, and we don't realize it.
Exactly. I mean, he's dumb. The guy's just dumb.
Yeah. So
yeah, my number 6 is more the Kevin Spacey sexual assault allegations. Just those still being heaped on him while he's got so many different trials going on all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, and for everybody, for the slap being so low, it's because we're so far removed from it.
Yeah, so it's that shockwave is felt for me all the way out here, all the way the tippity tip end of December. I'm still like, nope, I can smell it.
No, I hate people. So we're on 5, right?
Yes, number 5.
What's your 5?
My number 5 is Yee.
Really?
All of the Yee.
You want to talk about low, and you?
Yeah, no, I dropped him low, man. I'm done with the Yee stuff. Every time I see more controversies on Yee, I'm like, just get out of the way.
No.
Like, please stop hammering on this clearly problematic human being who maybe just needs help and consideration, or maybe needs to be bumped down and loses platforms. Maybe he is that piece of garbage who deserves it. I don't know, but it's not for me to say. I don't know the guy. I don't know him. All I know is this crap he's saying. He could be playing a character, putting on a show. I don't know. Of course, you put on a character and lose that much money. It's pretty stupid. So
yeah, that's true. All right, my number 5 is the all of the Dave Chappelle outrage.
Okay. Yep.
That controversy, because it keeps coming back, and they keep going after him, and it continues, because it continues from last year when he did the transgender discussion and it just blew up, but he still to this day, when he hosted SNL, created that source of like craziness. So that's why I put it on my list.
Fair enough. I actually really like that in that position. And that was your number 5?
That was my number 5.
So we're on number 4, and that is where I'm going to put the Dave, what you just said. That's my number 4, because I same exact feeling. I think there was a lot of stuff going on with it, and that was a bigger part of the news. And I think him discussing Kanye was bigger than what Kanye was going through. For me,
see, I
disagree.
I stand on that. Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Disagree to a point, but
yeah,
I do agree that it was polarizing.
From my level of we've all seen Kanye do this his whole career. This isn't new. This is just worse. That's all it is, so it's whatever.
Yeah. We are going a little long, everybody, but that's because this is this week's episode of the Scene Snobs Podcast. Last week, we just want to finish out our list, and then we'll be done. Yep. So bear with us. So my number 4 is the Don't Worry, Darling scandal or controversy.
Yep. That's a good one. Yeah, I really like that one. Yep.
It was just so over the top, and every aspect of it was crazy. And unfortunately, no one really came out on top in that. Nobody came out clean. Yeah.
Even Florence Pugh has still got a little junk on her shoe.
Yeah, I know. And she doesn't deserve it, but she does. And then I love Dale telling us, nice, go on.
Yeah. Go on.
We can do that. It's our show. It's our channel. We can do whatever we want.
Hell yeah.
So what's your number 4?
So I'm on 3 now.
Oh, number 3.
So you got your 4. So my 3 is the slap.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, my 3 is the slap, because it still was something that was so effective and huge. And it took 2 people who were icons from me growing up.
No.
2 men that I have followed their careers, that I have cheered and loved watching what they've put together. And to see that boil over and be a thing where, yes, people are human. It happens. You're going to react away. But for that, in that moment, to be that way was such a what is happening here? Yeah. So married with the Kanye controversies and other things going on, it's been a weird year of controversies. So that was my number 3.
I like it. That's a good one. My number 3 is Kanye. All the Kanye crap.
That's fair.
I feel like this year he kind of took over with a lot of stuff. Everything he said was building to the outrage, building to the controversy. But that's why it stays there. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is actually the Don't Worry, Darling. Now, this is a tie because this is what I'm calling my relationships situation. Because number 2 is I followed Don't Worry, Darling. I followed that whole thing. I tracked it when it all started. I was reading on that Instagram post. I was going through all the Twitters. I was legitimately following that one. The way I also followed another controversy that got tied at number 2, which was the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation topic.
Okay.
So those 2 are my number 2s, because all the in relationship things were happening, and I was really following those about the same throughout the year. So those are my one. Those are tied at number 2.
It's actually funny you say that, because my number 2 is actually the Ezra Miller controversies. All of his controversies throughout the year,
and he's had so many, which is why it made it to my number 1.
It did make it to your number 1.
Ezra Miller is a nightmare human, and I just look. I'm not saying the guy doesn't need help. I'm not saying I don't want to reach out and come from a place of understanding, coming from a place of kindness, and hopefully the kind of kindness that he clearly needs. But you, as an executive in the studios, are being stupid for keeping him as Flash and putting this movie out. Yeah, I think he has done too much damage. He's been too hurtful, and it is majorly problematic. And it is causing issue with me even liking your studio, because of this one person who has done all of these things. So Ezra Miller absolutely tops the list.
I'm gonna flip flop that one, and my number 1 is the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial.
That was part of your life.
That was part of I watched the whole thing every day. I was reporting on it when I was writing. I watched the whole thing every day, and it physically changed me in ways. Like it had an effect on me, and I don't think anybody should watch trials like that in any way, especially celebrity trials. Studies should be done on people who watch trials like that. Even
I'm pretty sure they will be, and if not were already. I'd be curious to see. Hey, maybe we could get a grant, and the Scene Snobs will find out.
Let's do it. I'm in. I'll do it.
Research project.
Did he have a heart attack because of this trial, or is it for another reason?
Love it.
All right, guys. There's a lot of things that happen throughout the year that we can just kind of keep trying to cut down and put in a list and things like that, and we'd love to, but at the same time, it's just so much. We've come to the end of our time.
So many things.
I mean, we have the war in Ukraine. We have, I mean, the amounts that we could cover, just like news or top 10 news and stuff like that, is vast. And
I mean, the Elon purchasing Twitter. I mean, we can get into. There's so many things that have happened in 2022 that have just been created a bevy of questions and concerns, some hopes, some dreams, all heading into 2023. So it's exciting, and we're happy that y'all hung out with us for 2022. We're grateful that everybody did this with us along this crazy journey of everything that happened, as Mick was describing. I mean, 52 weeks that we've tried to come here and be with y'all, and we've grown. Scene Snobs have even done some changing. We've had some new shows. The show that we're on right now, simulcast with the show that will be the podcast.
Yeah, I know. We're getting, and I mean, we've canceled shows that we had over a long time, and then we brought out new ones. And and guys, we appreciate everything you've done. We appreciate you listening, being a part of the Snob Nation, having a great time. 2022 has been fantastic in a lot of ways. We've grown past 2020, 2021. 2022, for all of its faults, I feel was sort of a shining light of, okay, we're almost out. I do feel 2023 is going to be better, and we're going to get better going forward. I'm holding on to that positivity and hope for it. And, with everything we're doing with the Scene Snobs, there's going to be a lot of changes coming. And I feel like we just want to let you guys know, like in the new year, some of our shows are going behind the paywall on Patreon. And that is to add flavor, add elements to it that is just that is beneficial to the listeners and everybody else. And there's going to be some great stuff coming. So please go pay attention to like where we're going with that. So that way you guys are in the know. You have to follow us for all that stuff as we go on. And if you have questions or anything like that, please always feel free to reach out to us. You can join our Discord, things like that. We have great stuff. We're going to do the rundown now. Okay. But Case, it's 2022. This is our last show. Maybe now everybody's calling for the Santa Tracker show tomorrow night.
Well, we could do the Santa Tracker and just do that as a silly thing. That's not actually a show. It's just a Santa Tracker.
That would be fun. Maybe we'll start at like 11 o'clock at night and just like
exactly. Do it for an hour, and then by 12:30 we're hammered and falling asleep.
I'm down. We'll talk about it off the air, though. Guys, I want to say thank you so much. Go check out any one of our shows. We have, of course, our Scene Snobs podcast is out there for our Christmas episode. Betting Bros, Math First Smash. This says week 15, but actually the week 16 picks are out. I was on the show. You can check out Geeked Out Live. That's where you pick the topics we talk about. We, of course, you can check out this show, the Snob Nation. I screwed up.
Snob Nation presents Scene Snobs present the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show, Friday 7 to 10 a.m. Yeah, it's definitely the last show of the year.
It's definitely our last show, and we're getting out of here. So I just want to say thank you to our patrons who support us, help keep the lights on. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, Chris S., Chris H., George G3,
Dan, John B., Ron, Jason, AJ, Dale, and John W. Make sure to head over to patreon.com/the Scene Snobs and check out all 3 tiers that are currently available.
That's right. All right, guys, make sure to join up on a Snobs Nation Discord as well. We got a ton of stuff going on. And I'm just going to motor through these, and then make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. We appreciate you. You can check out all of our short comedy videos that we're doing as well. This code doesn't work, but if you use Snobs, you get 10% off your order. But we have tons of stuff available. In the new year, I will have a new thing. And make sure to follow us on all social media. We're at the Scene Snobs. Casey's at Plotus21 on Instagram, at Casey the Man on TikTok, and at Twitter Night on Twitter. And I am Mick Manhattan. And Casey, please, my friend, take it away, sir.
Hello, all my friends, you beautiful people in the Snobs Nations. Thank you so much for joining us and for hanging out with us. Hopefully we've entertained you a little bit during 2022. We're getting ready to wrap up and spend some time with our friends and family, and hope that y'all are in the same boat, getting ready to hang out with your loved ones as well. Thank you for being part of our Snob family. Thank you for being with us throughout the year. Happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of 2022 and get ready to knock out 2023 with a bang. We appreciate y'all. And remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other.
All right. Couldn't have said it better myself. So I'm just going to say happy holidays, everybody. Stay safe.